Alright, welcome everyone. My name is Paula Phillips, also known as Journal Artista, and tonight's going to be an interesting night. I was just in the mail today. I got some of the brand new Derwent Artbars, so we're going to talk a little bit what they are, and then I am going to play with them. I haven't tried them before. I have watched their YouTube video, a month ago or whenever when they first put it out. So I'm going to show you what they gave me, and then I got a watercolor journal here, my watercolor moleskin that I'm going to test stuff out in, and as well as my other journal that's watercolor paper that I've gessoed. Hi Brent, welcome. Alright, hi Jean. So first things first, the art bars are water soluble oil pastels, wax. I'm not sure if they would consider them pastels, but it says water soluble wax bar for creative marks and texture. So they come in 72 colors, guys. 72, so full range of, that's the same amount that the Inktense come in. They are in triangular form, as we'll see. I also got some accessories, so we'll talk about the accessories first, and then I'll show you the bar. So this is what they call a shave and save. Now I know they have a similar product for Inktense blocks, which has the square opening, because Inktense blocks are square, and because these are triangular, they're shake and save. Sorry about the puppies barking at the cats. Oh man, that's hard to open. Yeah, grate and shake, I think they call it. That's a tight lid, guys. It's just not going to go anywhere. But so it's got a kind of sharp edge. Probably not sharp enough that you're gonna. It feels like it's sharp on the bottom, but not on the top. So what you can do is shave it off, put some water in it, create your own type watercolor paint. So we're going to try that a little bit later. I also got some 3 spray. They call them spritzers. I filled 2. I filled one all the way, and so I'll use it as water. Compare it to some of the mini misters and other things that we already use. And I left probably ½ an inch in another one where I'll grate some of it and make a spray ink. See how well it dissolves in there. It says that you can, on the package, it says that you can dissolve Inktense or watercolor. Oh, so we are not going to put the art bars in here. Not art bars. That could be bad news. Might clog it. So we won't try that. But I do have some Inktense we could try to put in there. It would be fun. So we'll test out their sprayers. If you've watched the video of this on the Derwent YouTube channel, they show a very heavy application, and then they use this. It's called a scraper, and it's a pretty funny looking tool, almost like a dog bone, and it's got all different ends. This end is like a grater. It would be that one, kind of multi lines and thicker lines and thin lines, and so it says perfect for use with art bar, oil pastels, color pencils, and wet acrylics and oils. So not just for art bars. It's pretty light, very light actually, kind of sharp. I thought it looked like a dog bone, but yeah, here's the ears, there's the eye. Looks like a cat there. You have a little tail going on. Hey Darcy. Yeah, no, this isn't part of last night's haul. Just got it in the mail today. I was in a long safety conference. So I got the 24 set, and the way these are laid out are brights, pastels, earth tones, and darks. So they're already in, you don't have to guess about colors. Alright, let's figure out how I can, it's a cat scratch. So if you watch the video, the 36-piece set and the 72-piece set has more than one layer. I think this only has the one layer. Yeah, and it's like it's got trays and they lift out. I was given these as a sample. So this is this hangy thing here that I'm gonna have to take out. I'm stop and go. Hey, Bren. There's also a white in there. And when I was reading the book, if you look at this book, it says that there's a mixing bar. This is an opaque white. Oh, you can't see it now. This is an opaque white, but there says there's a mixing bar, which shows that it's clear. So or it shows that it's white. I can't tell if that would mean it was white or clear. There's the opaque on the bottom and mixing bar. This set doesn't come with that. So brights, it says provide the base color for a subject, handy for vivid flowers and exciting abstract work. Pales, lighter shades to bring out highlights. Earths, midtones of an image for natural landscapes. Darks, the important shadow tones, great for mixing even more tints. So let's get right to it. Alright, so this is my much neglected watercolor moleskin. I've had this book forever. First I treasured it for a while. Then I was playing a little bit with the watercolors, trying different things, and then again I just stopped. I know, in the video they break them off. That's a little scary. That's a little scary. I watched a Julie Faye Van Balzer video, one on YouTube, and then I was playing around with that. I used the stencil that Sharon gave me, the henna stencil. So I was playing around with stuff. So now I'm going to use it kind of like a little sample thing here. Alright, so I'm going to start with the brights because that's what's on top. So, triangular. And again, in the video, she breaks off a piece, and I was like, oh, she's breaking a piece. Like, I almost cried when I first broke my Inktense block. But you can take off this sticker if you would like. There's a sticker that peels off pretty easily. It's actually, now that I look at it closely, it's scored. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Maybe if you catch it in the light. It's scored in a couple places so that you can easily rip it off in different, after you've used a little bit. So this is primary yellow. Primary yellow. And like I said, guys, this is just a playing around stream. Of course, I'm going to practice and come up with some cool things for you guys. But this is very much, okay, what are these? How do they work? How are they going to interact with gesso? Excuse me, can you guys see that well enough? So right now I'm just gonna get the initial color, and then I'll wet with a clean brush and water. I'll wet it to see. I'll wet half of it. I already can. I love water-soluble anything. I mean, we're all addicted to Neocolor 2s. Oh, I am actually absolutely going to do a comparison video similar to my demystifying watercolor crayons, I will compare it to Neocolor 2s and portfolios. So watch that for that in the next couple of days. I actually have to work tomorrow. It's a 2-day conference, so I'm not working, but I have to go to a conference. Alright, so we got the brights. And they're very, what's the word? Even when you watch the video, you'll see that they kind of break off easily. You know, with the portfolios are very smooth and they don't get that, you know, like when you're using a regular crayon, you get that little bits that come off. Alright, so I'm just going to use a round watercolor brush here. Actually, maybe I won't use round. Maybe I shall use a, oh look, a chisel one. It is pouring out here, guys. They're not really soft. Not the first pass of it, you know, like anything it might have like a, but even here, it's waxy rather than oily, so it's more of a crayon feel rather than, I wouldn't even say that they are as soft as Neo's. But I did not put very much pressure at all. So I'm just going to put from the top up. I'm going to spread the water from the top up. Can you see that well enough? Well, it really easily blends. So let's blend them together. Really, you know, sometimes if you're using your Neos, I'm not sure if you guys found the same thing, but you see the, I mean, you can stroke it about 4 times and you still see the crayon marks. Oh, I didn't clean my brush well enough for the purple. And so it's looking to me, it's a very light wash because I didn't put, you know, a lot of crayon on there. Blend very easy. They're very soft, and especially this is a watercolor journal, watercolor paper. So it, oh, those are gorgeous colors. So you know, it's nubbly. Nubbly. Did I just make up a word? Nubby. it's nubby. Right? So you'll see that I didn't use a lot of crayon. Like I didn't even cover the entire thing. So those are the brights. So I'm also going to take my finger here, and try not to shake the camera. See if they blend with my finger. They almost feel permanent. I mean, it's blending a tiny bit, but this one's blending more. This one's blending even more. So I wonder after a while, because the yellow was the first that I put down, so maybe it becomes permanent and then you won't be able to manipulate it very well. I'm not sure. That's one thing I'll be definitely playing around with. So they're a little bit smudgy if you put your back into it, as I like to say. Smudged a little bit. They almost went a little shiny. They went a little shiny. They blended really nicely together. So these are the brights. Let's find a pen. All my pens are downstairs, of course. That is the downfall of couch art journaling. Oh man, I got the hiccups. I don't know why, because I didn't eat anything. Simon went to see his mother, so I haven't had dinner. Okay. That end of the pen is bad. Let's hope for this side is better. Alright, so we got the brights. Just creamy enough to smudge. So, very first impression, definitely not as creamy as portfolios, I guess because portfolios are oil. Alright, wheat. This one is called wheat. So now I'm going into the lights. This was brights, so now I'll do lights. Uh-oh, I've already broken it. I've already broken it. Only cracked it in half. So wheat is very much a cream color, that's for sure. I really like the tin though. I like how they have their own little, so if you know, obviously I'm going to break some, especially when you start working with them more, but I like how the tin is triangular too, so it sits in there nicely. So even if I break off a piece, it's not going to roll around in the container, you know, that kind of stuff. They are meant, exactly, Linda. They, you know, if you watch the video, they're meant to be used with other mediums, like, um, like acrylics. So, like I said, I did prep a journal to my side here. So you can see, can you tell that there's some other, I guess just from the manufacturing process or shipping, you know, from the UK to cross the ocean, there's a little bit of another color there from the bumpy bumpies in the tin. Alright, blush. So again, these are meant to be highlights of the other colors. This one is called Blue Lace. Doesn't everybody love blue lace? That's a very nice blue slate. So these ones will be harder, I think, for you to see. Spearmint, harder for you to see into. And I am barely putting any product on, barely touching it, and I'm just using, you know, the flat edge, but really not using a lot at all. And this one is beige. Alright, make sure my brush is clean now. Same thing, you're just going to go this way this time. That is a really light color. Did I lose chat, or is everybody just transfixed? And these are meant to layer on top of each other. So when you read the packaging or you watch the Derwent videos, they're kind of putting two of these colors on together, you know, one on top of the other. So when you see how light this is and you think, oh my gosh, that's so light, it's about mixing colors. And that's exactly what the brochure says. Perfect for faces. So harder to see for sure. No gesso. No gesso. I'm going to do it on no gesso and then gesso later. Brights and lights. So I'm going to go to earth tones, you know, everybody's favorite. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. My favorite. This one is called Honeycomb. I don't know if anybody else just got the Honeycomb Kids commercial, Honeycomb cereal commercial song in their head. This one's called Paprika. This one is called Pacific Blue. Ooh, it looks like a nice blue that's a nice blue. Wait till I hold this up. Green Earth. I wonder what the literature doesn't say is that if they'll be sold by singly or not. It just says that tins of 12, 24, 36, and 72. So I'm not sure if they're going to end up. They break so easily, which I mean they're meant to. They're probably where the label is scored. My bet is that the entire, you know, they put a score in the bar so that when you break it, you never break a crayon, and it's like all these ragged pieces. This is called Prairie. Adale, Prairie, a nice greenish brown color. Yes, Star. This one is called Raw Umber. Alright. No, the Inktense blocks aren't sold individually. Probably the same thing. They're pretty fragile. So, ooh, ah. I know I'm gonna be having fun playing. You know, I always say that I'm afraid of watercolor, and that's just because it's foreign. It's unknown to me. So I'm gonna definitely have fun. I can't believe how easily they dissolve. Even with any of my any of my crayons or oil water-based oil pastels takes a while to get out the marks from the pen or the crayon, excuse me. And yeah, this is my first time, so I barely put any product down. This is just, I'm one of those conservative type people. I'm like, okay, let's start with less and then add more. Blends so easily. Hi, Debbie. The Inktense blocks are sold individually. Inktense pencils are, but I've never seen the blocks either. I really like that. And so, I mean, they're specifically chosen to all work together. Oh, I'm going to want the full 72 set. This is terrible. Terrible for me. All right. This is the Earth's. And last but not least, we will do the darks. Oh, you buy them from a local art store. Oh. Okay, burnt umber. I was gonna say I've never seen them singly. I mean, here in Canada, it's hard to even get the tins. They only had the set of. I only have a set of 12. Oh, my favorite color to say, my friends. Hey, Joe. You know, I like to say this. Here, laser. No, alizarin. Alizarin. Maybe I should learn how to say these colors properly, eh? I'm not promoting Taco Bell. Hey, Sharon. Did I already say shit? I'm not sure. I'm confused now. I'm too excited over here. Alright. Dark indigo. Ooh, it's a blue. Dark forest. Black. And white. So, white I'm not going to be able to see at all, eh? Maybe I'll layer this one up top is from the Earth's, is from that's raw umber. So what I'm going to do is layer over a little bit of the raw umber on top of the white that I just put down, and maybe we'll see if it gets any lighter. White is in the dark section. Yep. Ooh. Oh, that's a nice indigo. Now, if a product can convert me to watercolor, or using more watercolors in my art journal, it's got to be pretty good. I'm just afraid of them. But these just seem so easy to use. I mean, just on the first pass here, but you know, one thing for me with watercolor, I never know how much water to use, how much paper to how much paper to use. I've been up since 4 a.m., my friends. 4 a.m. How much water or how much paint? Alright, my brush wasn't completely dry, but you can see how the white really lightened up that brown there. I'll move some into the black. Wow, and it's a really, let's move this out, see how far it'll go. It's a tiny bit of crayon to paint all that. I am stoked, my friends. So this whole dark section, or you know, I mix a little bit of the burnt umber in there, and the white, and kind of played with it. Oh, I'm not even in the screen. So that was darks. So now what I'm going to do, was that boring to see all the colors like that? I'm not sure. Let me just heat gun this real quick. Heat gun. Just make sure it's completely dry. Alright. I just don't know if it's boring to see it all one by one. Alright, on top of gesso. So you know gesso, gesso and watercolor kind of resists a little bit. You gotta use a tiny bit more pigment than you normally do. I'm not putting a lot of pressure, guys. I think the little nubblies you're seeing, nubblies, is the texture of the watercolor paper. Yeah, if deboring 1 says that it's not boring, then it must not be. That's for sure. Alright, this time I think I'm going to pull it down so you guys can see how well it, rather than going up. And specifically why I chose to do it in a different journal is so that we can compare it. Are the colors any different on top of gesso compared to not? It does not say on the packaging whether they dry permanent, and like I said, I didn't want to watch the video right before I played with them. I kind of wanted to, I mean, I remember a few things from the video, but kind of wanted to test them, and then I'll go back and watch the video and see what I've missed. So definitely the color reacts more like watercolor, where it pools in different places, you know, if you were using a watercolor paint. I guess because of the gesso here. Rather than with the no gesso, it sinks right into the paper. And this is the bright section. So let's compare it to the brights without gesso. Alright, so you see what I mean? You can kind of see the brush strokes more, and to me it looks more like, you know, how watercolor would normally react. See how it sinks in? I'm not sure. So definitely get more vibrant of a color with gesso, but that's maybe because it's pooling in some spots compared to not, right? So this is my test journal. Because I'm going to create, you know, I'm going to use this journal. I'm going to put my Inktense in there and all that fun stuff so I have a better idea. You know, I'm going to make a little swatch book with this at the same time. So this is going to be a little test. So I'm not going to do the entire set the same way. This is watercolor paper as well, but gessoed. I do have watercolor brushes. Alright, so let us take some purple here. I think in the video she's using a very smooth paper. And you know, one thing she shows is mark making, how you can get a very fine point and get a broad stroke. I mean, you can get really broad if you go down sideways, if you break a piece off. I'm just not quite there yet, my friends. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to break off a piece, but not right now. So then she shows, you know, you can mix it up. They're not super blendy. Definitely, well, maybe, you know, once you put a little bit more on it, they're blendy. So let's go to their spritzers. If I can find one here. This is the Derwent brand. Yeah, I know you can get the smooth watercolor paper. This just journal just happens to not be. Alright, so let's spritz it. Maybe I did not see. Oh, oh, now it's moving. At first, I guess I expected it to just go right away. A little bit better, Debbie. They definitely blend a little bit better on the gesso paper. But it's definitely moving more. So let's add some some red on the wet. Some red. Oh, that's nice. Let me try it. I meant to pick up red. So I just drew that swirl on a wet. So I'm using the dry on wet. And you get much smoother application and super bright. Ooh, I like that. See how vibrant that is? Drawing on the wet paper. Now it's moving because I just held it up. Drippy drip. So I guess if you didn't want it to do that, let's see what happens when this is my finger. Again, this is on gesso. Alright. So you know me. I'm also taking a Tracy Bautista's class right now too. Heat gun. And you can see, I don't know if you can see there, um, it's still, still showed up, my swirl. So this is a wet baby wipe. Now, same thing, I didn't gesso this entire page. So you'll be able to really tell where I gessoed and where I didn't. But that really almost took away all the purple, most of the red. And you can see where it kind of sunk in. Really sunk in there. So I'm going to heat this again. Because you know, I'm going to go back to that purple. Or I should say a purple. This is Iris. This time I'm going to take my baby wipe and no, it won't blend with the baby wipe. The baby wipe just wipes it off. Completely wipes it off. Well, completely wipes it off on a gessoed surface anyways. So let's flip the page. Maybe not that page or that page. Let's find a clean page. Alright, so let's see what happens. And I'm not pressing hard, guys. Oh! There we go. I will, absolutely. Alright, so again, this is non-gesso page. You can see when it's a non-gesso page, I mean, it right away wets. Right away. Of course it's wet right away. Right away it starts to go. And that didn't go so well on the gessoed. So that definitely works better on non-gesso paper. Let's see. That was on wet. Or it wasn't wet on wet, excuse me. It was the Artbar on wet. So let's see what happens. So no gesso. Definitely what I drew on there is showing up a lot more on no gesso. Heat gun. So I'm going to dry it completely so that we can. I like the sprayer, I must say. I'm just using water so far, but it's a fine mist. It's a spritzer. Okay, heat gun. They do not feel greasy at all. Very much feel like a crayon. A little bit smoother than a crayon, but definitely not greasy at all. I'm not even sure you know, all of that blending, I'm not getting anything on my fingers other than some gesso from before. Okay, so the question is, it's dry, can we rewet it? So far, no. A little bit over here. But that might not have been fully dissolved. So the thing about Inktense is that it's permanent when fully dissolved. So I'm wondering if this is the same. That I was doing over here, I was trying to pull it down and I got nothing. But over here, which may have not been, it was a thicker side, may not have been fully dissolved. So let's make sure this is all fully dissolved. I'll just add a ton of water. Like this, I can't move this. I have to really work on it to move it. I mean, I had to scrub it. But if I were to just, let's see. Let's take this blue and draw it on my table, on my non-stick mat here. Can we add another color on top of it? Especially a light wash like that. It's not moving the other color. So my guess, and I don't know yet, we'll have to test the theory as we continue to work with them in the future, is that they are similar to Inktense and have to be completely, but I'm sure it says on that video. I will be doing a YouTube video once I'm a little bit more skilled. Or no, I shouldn't say skilled. Once I've really played around with them and see how they react. Alright, so what I'm going to do is dry this, and then I'm going to draw on top with them and wet them. Keep going. Alright, so this time I'm going to take a dark forest. Let's put a lot more on. If you watch that video, I mean, she puts a lot on. So this is the scrapey tool. I should call it the right thing. Scraper. Scraper. Let's see. I want to try the one that's the serrated edge. Okay. So, number one, serrated edge, probably not so good on a textured paper. Maybe any of these, because you can't get a good, it's taking some of it off, but you can't get a good it's just too darn bumpy. Okay. Night, Kiki. I see the scrape marks now. I am just going to have way too much fun creating backgrounds with this. Let's see, so let's go for a light color on top of that. This is spearmint. put a little bit. I don't know, can you see that? Just some playing around. So what I'm going to do is switch to my mixed media journal. I'm like, where's my mixed media journal? Where's my mixed media journal? I don't have a ton of stuff around. So this is part of what I bought yesterday, and it actually has a 9x12 mixed media paper from Canson, which is different than what's in the mixed media art journal, because this is actually 138-pound paper rather than the 90, so much thicker. All right. Ooh, smooth. It's smooth. Right. Enough of molesting the paper. Let's try dark indigo, which I'm sure is going to be a quick favorite of mine. I'm probably large. There, focus on me. There we go. I'm probably afraid. I'll use this side, make it a bit darker. I'm afraid of pressing hard. Like I said, talk to me tomorrow when I'm a little bit more comfortable. When she does this on the video, the Derwent instructor, I remember she uses the side where she breaks it off. And like I said, maybe tomorrow I'll be that brave. Not so much right now. Same as this, I'm just not putting enough on. Not putting enough on to scrape it off. All that really does is kind of smooth it out. But maybe I'm not doing it right. I know I'm not pressing. I'm scared, Dale. Not scared. Ooh, that's dark. Wow. Look at that deep blue. And it still wasn't a lot of product. Like, you barely tell that I used the crayon art stick. I don't think they call them a crayon. The Artbar. I mean, and it doesn't, like, really, you can make very precise lines. You know what I mean? Like, it's not moving too much. So definitely, I can already see that a very little goes a long way with these. I'm not sure how much they're going to retail for, or how much they are retailing if they're out in the UK, but definitely a little goes a long way, especially if you want this wash type look. Now, I did put about 3, I would say I put probably, you know, 3 full passes. Oh my gosh, I just love it. It's going to completely change my mind about watercolors. So let's go up here where there's less, I can move that away now. So you see what I mean? If you know, if I want more, or if you want more, definitely looks like you're better off to just add more and more layers. Poor Asha. It's like I was gone for so long today. They're so used to my schedule. Not leaving at, you know, 5:30 and coming back at 5:30. Okay, so what I left this here for is because I'm in the middle, I'm going to take the white. You prefer the pouring. I love that blue stick. I know, Joe. You know me pretty well. Me and the blues. Okay, so I'm going to take the opaque white and I'm just going to go on top of it. Put a thin layer on top of it. I'm telling you, I'm not pressing down hard at all. So it just, you know, might have a scratch paper or something off to the side so that you can write it down. Hi, Lynn. You weren't able to watch the recording? Well, this is interesting because even though these top two had the same amount of, originally anyways, the same amount of color, this one adding white to it changed the color rather than lighting it, making it lighter. I should have brought up a cup of coffee. That's my problem. Totally changed the color. I did record, yes. Sorry, I know who Patty is. Lynn is Patty. Isn't that awesome? Like, this was just a lighter color. This was with the same color adding white to it. So what I'm going to do is completely dry it and add some white acrylic paint and see what happens. Heat gun. See where it's darker there? That is where I scraped it. Scraped the paper, so it's, you know, the pigment definitely seeped in. Maybe I won't use white. Maybe I'll use a, let's see. See what happens with Pyrrole Red. This is a fluid, golden fluid acrylic. And I'm just gonna paint it right down the side there. That's way too much paint. You can't even tell, but I got like a dime-sized amount of paint there, and I definitely didn't need that much. Okay, I'm not gonna use my watercolor brush for that. Poor Asha. So I wanted to use fluid acrylics for 2 reasons. Number one, because it's more translucent, and I wanted to see if the color kind of came up through it. And number two, I wanted to see if it would blend. That's for sure, Dale. They are super spoiled. My puppies are absolutely. Anytime I'm testing something like that, I always make sure I put the true color of paint, you know, onto the side to see did the color change, um, that type of thing. Let's add a little bit over here. So far, it did mix a little bit down here on the darker side, but again, it could just be because that's not fully dissolved. All right. Lots of paint left over here, so got to do this. Oh, you went to Above Ground? Welcome, Charlotte. Nice to meet you. Love to meet somebody local and to hear that you were able to partake on the sale. Did you go to the new store, Charlotte? I know it's a little off topic, but we're just playing here. Or did you go to the original? I haven't been to the new store yet. I did get the mailing. I got the mail. Oh my goodness. It was, yeah, terribly busy. You did go to McCall Street? Yesterday was, oh my goodness. Like, it's a small store to begin with. I shouldn't say it's a small store. It's a small store with a lot of products. So some aisles, like, you barely have a foot and a half to go through. Oh boy. Okay. So, I've got to test it. So I can still move it with my baby wipe a little bit. This is no gesso, which kind of ruined that whole thing, but you know. Hey, Jenny. So yeah, it mixed a little bit down here, almost a purpley. This is the original color, so it definitely translucent color there, but the translucency, is that a word? Oh my goodness, I need some coffee. Alright, so I'm going to dry this and I'm going to spray it with water in the spritzer and see what happens. Done. Yeah, it's pretty easy to go crazy, especially when there's a sale. Okay, so I'm gonna spray it so you guys can see. It is like really raining out, which could be. There might be some thunder. Can you see a difference? I see a difference. Can you see a difference? Not really, actually. Maybe a little bit if I wanted to actually make it move. But the paper is pilling. So again, this bottom one, that's where I used a lot more crayon. Not a lot of the, I shouldn't call it crayon. Let me rephrase that. It is a wax. But I use a lot more of the Artbar, but still not a lot compared to. So, everybody's question, I'm sure, what does white do? Does white show up? That's on top of wet. Can you see that? Yeah, this is an unscheduled stream. Tomorrow night is my regular show. Hopefully you can join me for that. For Stencil Saturday. And you can absolutely bet I will be using these with stencils tomorrow. I should say it's a safe bet that I'll be using these with stencils tomorrow. But I'm going to have to cut it short here soon because Ash is not going to let up. That's the, I need to go to the washroom. I want out wider. When she starts that half bark howl like that, that's the bark that she gives when, you know, when my alarm goes off. And she's like, okay, I have to go to the washroom. Come downstairs now. So please tweet me, send me a message on Facebook if you have any questions or things you want me to try out. I can say without a doubt. So what color did I use most tonight? I mean, I barely dented any of these art bars. Maybe the purple. Like all that purple I used, and it was just, I guess I did use more indigo. I mean, you can barely even tell that it's used. Indigo. That's too dark for you to see. Tiny bit, that's for sure. So first impression, absolutely in love. So stay tuned. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a YouTube tomorrow. I'll definitely plan it, comparing them to everybody's question with Neo 2s and and portfolios. Poor Asha. I just want to stay. I just want to... Oh my goodness, it's seriously raining. That's could be more why she's barking. Is because... Oh, poor Simon. Simon went to his mother's house because, to get food, really. To have some home cooking. I can't break myself to break them yet. Bring myself to break them. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Oh yeah, Simon goes and comes back with all this Tupperware containers of food that I don't cook, like curried chicken and stuff, oxtail, curried goat. I'm just playing. Can you tell with this watch? I am so loving this, I'm like zoning you guys out. Hi Lynn B. No, these are the new art bars by Derwent. You know, maybe in the future they'll sell them at Michael's. I mean, they sell the, do they sell Intense blocks now in Michael's? No, Charlotte, these, I don't believe are available in North America yet. But we are going to find out soon. When they'll be in North America. I will direct message them today. Should know tomorrow. Anybody in the room from the UK? Probably not. Everybody in the UK is probably asleep. Absolutely just, I mean, look at how bright that is. This is Pyro Red. Pyro. I'm probably totally pronouncing that wrong. Um, oh, you did, Dale? And, I mean, look at how this is primary red in the art bar. I mean, it's very bright and opaque. Like, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to spray it this way, see if it'll drip. Blend out here. See. It definitely moves, for some strange reason, it definitely drips better on non-gessoed paper than gessoed, which usually is the other opposite, but can't stop playing. Poor puppies in the background. I'm gonna get more hate mail. They better go. They better go. As Dee Dee would say, don't email me. So I'm going over top the fluid over here. I don't know if you can tell there that I went over top the fluid. Almost completely went away. That's on top of the fluid. I know my camera doesn't like the red. So, anyways, you'll see quite a bit more. This is all, again, non-gesso on mixed media paper by Canson. I know, I'm going. She's unhappy. I did, Patty, a long time ago. I subscribed to Derwent UK, so yeah, I watched it as soon as it came out, and haven't watched it since. So now I'm gonna go downstairs and see what Asha wants, and rewatch them. Don't all crash YouTube going over there. So again, brights and lights, no gesso. Earths and darks, no gesso. Very, very cool. On top of gesso as well. These are the brights. Now those are the brights. Police, dogs barking. Maybe somebody called the cops because my dog's barking for 5 minutes. These would be the perfect couch art supply, though. You know,